Hello, how's it going? Welcome to this special autumn themed movie recommendations video. Just thought I'd sort of do a quick one, just running down some of what I think are like perfect horror movies for autumn time. So obviously we're into September now, you know, we're on the route to Halloween season. I'll be doing lots of stuff for the channel for spooky season, by the way, in October. I'll be putting out more videos weekly. There'll be more lists and recommendations and unboxings, all that sort of thing. But what I thought I'd do is I'd pick out an stack, which I have here. Some of the spines aren't showing, and these movies for me just fit that autumn aesthetic nicely. They are kind of set in autumn. They have that kind of aesthetic, you know, where the locations and things like that. So it's not so much I will be doing Halloween themed videos later on, although there is a very influential Halloween themed movie in this lineup. But yeah, let's get started anyway. So I thought I'd start with this one, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. It's getting a new release soon on from 88 Films on the Slasher Classics. This is the Eureka Blu-ray. I'm just trying to get my sort of logistics and that sorted, because obviously there's a bit of light shining there, so they are a bit reflective, but you can see what I'm holding up. There's an look on the back. Yeah, I do like this one. It's not one of my favourites, but I do think it's perfectly suited to autumn. You know, it's kind of got this killer going around, like preying on couples while they're, you know, getting it on in their cars. He's going round masked on like autumn evenings, you know, late summer. It just fits the autumn vibe perfectly. The Town That Dreaded Sundown. So obviously the night's drawing in the autumn, as we have darker nights earlier. And I just think this movie's suited. So there's a autumn recommendation. Now, one that suits autumn down to the ground is the classic Evil Dead. Such a good horror movie from Sam Raimi. Love this film. It's my favourite out of the franchise. I even prefer it to the remakes, which I'm a fan of the remake, and I was a fan of Evil Dead Rises from a couple of years ago. And as good as Evil Dead 2 is, you know, the first one just has that kind of more like scarier vibe to it. You know, the Deadites look a bit more unsettling in this one. You know, they're coming to get you, and like, you know, we're gonna get you, and you know, it's just pretty, got some creepy moments in here, and the gore's really good as well. Obviously you got some cool like claymation effects and things, but yeah, Evil Dead, absolute classic. Don't have to say too much about it on this channel, I'm sure, but yeah, I just think it's perfectly suited to autumn because of the cabin and everything like that. You know, as it's sort of like set in a forest in the woods, you've got trees all around, you've got leaves on the floor. It's kind of already got that autumn aesthetic going for it, because I assume it was possibly filmed in the autumn time. But yeah, just the whole autumn cabin in the woods vibe, just, yeah, heavily suited for this season. Another one I picked out, Alone in the Dark. Cool movie about a bunch of lunatics who escape from facility, and it's up to like the doctor, Donald Pleasance, and some other men to round them back up. But yeah, it definitely suits the autumn vibe in my opinion. I think this even got its Blu-ray release from Screen Factory a few autumns ago, so maybe that's kind of like pre-planted into my head why I like watching this one in autumn. But I've only seen it a couple of times. I shall be giving it another watch this autumn. So yeah, Alone in the Dark, another a good one for autumn. See, there's heavy hitters on this list, and there's just random stuff that you may not have seen as well. So just a recommendations video. We'll run through another one that I think kind of suits the autumn aesthetic. It's set in like middle America, and it's got an autumn kind of feel to it. I assume, again, it was shot during autumn, and that's The Stepfather. Absolutely love this film. Terry O'Quinn puts in like a heavyweight performance as the stepfather. You know, he goes from family to family, masquerading as their you know, as a love interest for the woman, who obviously normally has her own children. He infiltrates the family, takes control, and then murders them when he's good and ready, and then moves on to the next. But yeah, The Stepfather, definitely a good one for autumn. I think again that came out last autumn on 4K from Screen Factory. Speaking of the whole autumn aesthetic and films that are just aesthetically suited to autumn, you got to go autumn, which are awesome. You got to go with Stephen King's It. Now, I picked the original TV miniseries. I do like the remake and the chapter 2, but this one's got a lot of heart. You know, it's got that kind of, again, set in like Maine, so it's got that kind of like small town, like American feel to it. You know, it's kind of autumny anyway, although I think a lot of it's set in the summer, so not seen it for a while, but it's definitely one to stick on in autumn. You've got a creepy clown. Pennywise is played by Tim Curry in this one. You know, like I say, a lot of it I think it is set in the summer, but it just suits autumn time, you know, getting the creepy clown movies on and things like that. So I thought I'd pick this one out, and I need to get onto this Blu-ray and watch it. This could do the 4K as well. This is the original TV miniseries. Yeah, it's got a lot of heart. This one might not be as well done as a movie like the remake, but it, you know, it's got a bit, you know, it's got some charm to it. Bit of that early 90s TV movie charm, of course, and definitely those type of things are suited to the autumn getting into spooky season. Probably one of the most suited in the list, and that is this one. Written, produced and directed by Buddy Cooper, and that's The Mutilator. Big fan of this, great slasher movie. It's got a good revelation at the film's climax about these group of young people. They go to stay in one of their relatives' little sort of mini condo house things on the beachfront during fall break, which is, you know, autumn time. You know, fall break's like a more of an American term, but it is like, you know, it's autumn, and this, you know, and someone's knocking them off one by one, and yeah, it's set in the autumn. It has an autumn aesthetic. It's got a very kind of like fall, if you will, soundtrack or theme, you know, main theme to the film. The song that's the on the soundtrack is very autumn themed. It's literally called like Fall Break or something. I think even the alternative to this title, The Mutilator, is also Fall Break. But yeah, really good slasher movie. A little bit underrated in my opinion. Is it the best film in the world? No. Is it a fun time for slasher fans? Hell yes. And you know, it's got a bit going for it. And some of the characters are interesting enough to watch. You know, you've got your kind of prankster, jokey type, and then you've got your more serious ones. But yeah, it's a good one, and it's set in autumn, so just perfect for this time of year. Okay, so we're narrowing down a little bit now. We're getting to the final three, and I have picked some good ones here, and you've probably heard of most of them. But anyway, we'll go with this one by Mario Bava, and that's Kill Baby Kill. Now, this film, to me, I don't know for a fact, I perhaps should do my research, but it appears to me that this is actually set on an, like, sort of on a set. It's set on a soundstage or whatever, and you know, it's on a set. You can kind of tell because it's a bit limited, you know, where they film and things like that. I could be wrong. That's just the impression I get from the movie. But yeah, it's black and white, really ghostly, and just the ghostly kind of goings on and the ghostly vibe alone just make this a great watch for autumn. You get that kind of autumn feel. It looks very cold and like it looks like it's predominantly set on a dark evening. And yeah, another one with a good kind of revelation towards the end, but brilliant film from Mario Bava, Kill Baby Kill. Now, two more to show. This is a heavy hitter. Now, I did say I'm not getting quite into my Halloween watch list, so expect that video at the beginning of October. I will be showing you guys my curated selection of movies that I'll be watching heading into Halloween season. I'll show you that perhaps at the end of the month, beginning of October. But for an autumn movie, you know, a horror movie perfectly suited for autumn, I had to sneak Halloween in there. The original 1978, directed by John Carpenter, of course, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. You got Nick Castle as Michael Myers, and it's just a standout. I mean, most people who are into horror love this film. I'm one of them. I know it has its kind of deniers as well, but it's such a good movie. It's got that autumn aesthetic down to a T, especially the scene where the young ladies are walking home from school and Michael's kind of like peering from behind the bushes. You've got a lot of like leaves on the ground, of course, adding to that whole autumny like vibe and aesthetic. And yeah, it's set on Halloween, 31st of October, which is basically prime autumn time, just as we get into the winter, kind of. And yeah, Halloween, it's just such a good slasher movie. It's a little bit minimal, like, it's not the most bloodthirsty film. The subject matter is unsettling to some, and the subject matter is violent, as it's a violent killer. It's just Michael, he does a lot of damage in this movie, yet for the first one, it's not that gory, really. You know, kind of similar to what TCM's like. People would assume with TCM, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. Well, the first one isn't. And the same's kind of with Halloween. It's a very violent movie, and there's some mean stuff in there, and some Michael's got a hell of a nasty streak. But it's not that gory, considering, you know. But really good movie, really suspenseful. Of course, legendary, like, piano score from John Carpenter, you know, the Halloween music, absolutely iconic, and Halloween, perfect for the autumn time, of course. And I thought I'd pop in House of the Devil as well. I think this is kind of set in the autumn. That's the impression I get from the location and the whole, you know, the aesthetical background makeup of the film. But yeah, really good one. It's a slow burn. It's a Ty West one. He's just put out The Innkeepers on 4K, which I managed to pick up and watch, which I highly enjoyed. And I do actually prefer The Innkeepers to this one, but this is great. It's a period piece, 80s throwback, about this girl doing a bit of looking after this supposed old woman or gentleman who's in the house, and the people who live there put her, you know, leave her in charge of the place, and things turn a little bit sinister, and we move towards a kind of like occult themed climax. But yeah, the whole house just screams autumn time. You know what's going on outside with the leaves and the aesthetic, and it's a very dark evening that the film predominantly takes place on. So there's a little selection there. I just thought I'd run through. So you got House of the Devil, perfect for autumn. Halloween. I'll probably do a couple of these videos, guys, and just recommend some more niche stuff as well. You've got Kill Baby Kill, directed by Mario Bava. The Mutilator, very autumny. It's the original. The Stepfather, ooh, love that film. Great 4K. Good acting, like I say, Terry O'Quinn, he puts him on hell of a performance, and you believe he's that nasty. He's that good at playing this nasty stepfather character. Highly believable. Alone in the Dark, set in a cabin in the woods with the Deadites, of course, the original Evil Dead, suits this time of year down to the ground. And I thought I'd slip in the town that said it's dreaded sundown. Now, as I put these away, I will do a sort of disclaimer on the video. Now, like I say, a couple of those films are maybe set at summertime. So you guys, you know, if you go, oh, well, that's actually set in the summer. Yeah, I get that. But I just wanted to sort of say, regardless, like a lot of it's set in the summertime. It's just with it being small town America, and you've got kind of like that whole vibe, and it being creepy clowns. It's just well suited to the spooky season, like this time of year. But most of them, especially like Evil Dead, that's definitely got like an autumn, you know, a really unique kind of like autumn aesthetic, and especially stuff like The Stepfather as well. That movie appears to be autumn. And then of course you've got like Halloween, which is, you know, it's set on Halloween, so that's a prime example of a perfect autumn movie. But just a little list anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed the room tour. That's on the channel as well. Got a bit of a different backdrop behind me. Just going to move about a little bit, get a little bit comfier, and there'll be more videos on the way. Like I say, October, heading into Halloween spooky season, I'll be watching a hell of a lot more movies when I'm able to, and a lot more spooky stuff and scary movies, which kind of is normal for me, because basically on Skincrawlers it's Halloween all year round. You know, I'm always watching horror movies predominantly. I do watch other genres such as comedy, action, thriller, documentary movies, you know, TV shows, etc. I started watching Alien Earth last week. I've only watched the first episode, and I do like a good TV series, but I like them to be kind of like linear. And lucky for me, Alien Earth, and I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise, so I'm excited to see the remainder of the series. It is only 5 episodes, but the first episode was like 70 minutes long. But I watched that on Disney Plus, had a good time. I'll do a review on Alien Earth when I've actually watched it. I may put it on my one of my watch list, Tales from the Watch List videos. So I watched Alien Earth last week, picked up a new Blu-ray of one from 2024, new release this year of Presence. That was an interesting movie, and it's shot a little bit differently. I've just written a review on Presence for my skincrawlers.co.uk website. So if you want to hear my thoughts on the movie Presence, which I will talk about on this channel on a perhaps an update video or something. But anyway, regardless, check out my review, because I've just written a review for Presents, and that should be being put onto the website as soon as possible. So thanks for watching, guys. Just a few autumn recommendations, more of this type of content on the way. This is what I like to do September, October. I like to curate some movies to watch, and I like, tailored to the spooky season. And I also like to do some recommendation stuff. I know I've been a little bit slack on recommendation videos over the past 6 months, well, majority of this year, but I will be getting back to some of that, as well as other stuff. We'll be getting screen records. I'll be looking at the latest releases. When Arrow do their announcements on the last Friday of every single month, I'll be doing a reactions video, like a screen record, as I've been doing the past couple of months. There'll be those, and all kinds of things on the channel. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
If you visit this website, it will help you ease your mind.
You can feed the dog. You can feed the dog all the lovely worms, all the worms in his belly.